Hi, I'm Marlon from Bursty Twin Stories. If you are an author, it's guaranteed you will be approached by a scammer or you already have been. All right. It just seems to be inevitable as an independent author. But I made this video to share my experience so that hopefully you can learn some of the popular scams and some tips on how to avoid it. So keep watching. Remember to like and subscribe. So, one of the biggest ways to avoid scammers is just to be skeptical. And I'm a positive person. I like to think the best in everybody. But there have been so many people reaching out to me on social media, email, all different ways. And you're like, I don't know you. Okay. Be skeptical. One huge red flag to identify a scammer is that they often, pretty much always, make big, huge promises that are impossible to keep. All right. They will say, join my list and we'll put in front of thousands and millions of people, follow all these steps, and I guarantee that you'll be on the bestseller list, or do this, whatever, and I guarantee that you will make $1 million. And like, no one can guarantee that. Okay. Just they can't. Book marketing is hard work. It's a lot of trial and error, but no one can guarantee you to sell millions or thousands of copies. So, in my experience, everybody I hired, my illustrator, my editor, a consultant, if you get someone for whatever it is you need help with, it's always been people who I've researched and I've approached. Every single person who sent me a message or randomly approached me on social media, they always offered a lower quality. It was often AI. They were often trying to pressure and rush me. That's scammy. Okay. Don't do that. Take your time, research people's portfolios, research different publishing companies, just research. Okay. Because if you're trying to find an illustrator, just look up other books they did, right? Talk to authors they worked with. There's references, there's ways to do your research and due diligence to make sure they're real people doing a real service and that they'll do the best job. Some really popular scams or just the book club scam. So they email you saying, hey, we'd like to use your book in our book club. We're going to have a reading. We supply everything. We promise to have a big group. And then they say, you don't have to do anything. It's free, except we'd like money for coffee and refreshments. And I'm like, I'm not even going. Like it's a book club often in another country. Like, why would I pay? I'm happy you might talk about my book, but like you could talk about my book without me paying money for coffee and refreshments. That one has popped up multiple times on Facebook and emails. So just be wary of those. Another scam is Amazon Publishing. So it is free to upload your book on KDP, okay, Kindle Direct Publishing. But when we first started, when you Google like how to publish a book, Amazon Publishing pops up. So apparently my sister signed up to get some information about it. And then they called me and they're like pressuring me, like, this is the end of the year. This deal's only good for another day. And like, they didn't seem to understand when I wanted to talk to people about it. I wanted to check into it. It was really annoying because they called, they followed up. They were really trying to get us to go with them. And I was like, this feels scammy. So we didn't do it, thankfully. But there were some red flags. So one was that they kept saying, you hardly have to do anything. We'll just have an idea and we'll publish and illustrate and get your book ready. And I was like, no, I want to be involved. I want to write the book. I want to be a part of like consulting. So that was a big red flag. And also the pressure, right? Everyone else I've worked with, they've never pressured me because we're in an agreement. We enter in a contract and it's fair. So that's another red flag. If there isn't a contract, that's a little worrisome. Another red flag or way to spot scammers is often they send out these very like generic emails. Sometimes they'll include your title of your book or even your name, but it often feels like they just got like copy and pasted in there. But they'll often say things like, oh, I noticed your book and I found a mistake. Like, please contact me and we can discuss more. And you're like, well, if you found a mistake, maybe you should just tell me. That would be nice. So that's always kind of a red flag when it's vague like that, or they require you to like follow up and contact them again. Or sometimes they'll praise your book and be like, oh, we came across this book, and they obviously haven't even read it, but it just kind of, they talk about your book a little bit, giving you praise. And then it's like, oh, we'd really like to put it in front of our readers, or we offer advertising. And maybe they're real people, but it often just seems like this generic thing. And the one company, I can't remember, something about light something, I did Google them and I'm like, they're not even my target audience, right? They're not even, yes, they have like a web page and they do have some followers and they have some books, but a lot of the books look like they're AI generated. I'm like, I don't want my book to be a part of that. So just really doing your research, but those are some, you will get the strangest of emails sometimes. The other biggest way to avoid scammers, if it seems too good to be true, it really, really is. Okay. Just If it sounds like this deal, we'll publish your book for like $1,000, like it's not real, you know, or we promise to make you a millionaire. We promise you'll be the number one or whatever it is. Another popular scam is people trying to say, hey, we loved your book. We're going to make it into a movie. And you're like, we write children's books. So like most of our books aren't movies. So that one was kind of funny because you're like, it's not even like a action movie or like a romance. Like it's a book about a duck getting unstuck, which maybe could be a movie someday, but no, it's a scam, right? They just want to get you in. There's no company. So, and another classic scam is people online offering, send me your manuscript and I'll upload it to KDP for you, which no, you will never give anybody your KDP login information, okay? That is top secret. That is for you. That is a scam. People fall for it because people sometimes panic and it looks a little complicated and they're not sure how to upload it to Amazon and they want to get it done. They're in a rush. And so they hire somebody, but don't. You can totally do it. There's lots of videos, okay, on YouTube. You upload your own document to Amazon. Are vanity publishers scammers? So that's kind of a gray area. I view it like a scam because a vanity publisher is like a hybrid. So you pay them a lot of money and then they find the illustrator, they do everything, they build your book for you. I mean, you write it, but they help you. And then they publish it and they get like most of the money. I think they give you royalties, depends on your contract. So really read those. But to me, it feels like a scam because they make all the money off the process. It's often like $5 to $10 to $15,000 to publish a book. And yes, they provide services, but most of my books I found my own illustrators and editors and consultants and everything. And most of my books were between like 5 and 8,000. Okay. It's nowhere near the price of a vanity publisher. So if you need somebody to do those services for you and you don't want to do it yourself, then you can go for it. If you're willing to fork out a lot of money for a vanity or hybrid publisher, you can totally do that. It's not really a scam because they're very upfront about what they're doing. But there is a cheaper way and there is a way that you have more control. So if you choose to do it with a vanity publisher, just be mindful, read your contract, and understand that when it's published, if you choose to market it with them, they then charge you more money to market it, okay? So they really make money off your process. A lot of people feel scammed after going with a hybrid vanity publisher. Like I only know 4 or 5 people who have done it, but all of them, it's been a couple years and they have not made back their money yet. So they feel scammed because they feel like they were promised that their book would make it and do well on Amazon and they'd be big authors. And so just if you go in with your eyes open, totally up to you. But anyways, that's just people we know. They feel scammed after. So that concludes our video. If you have come across any scammers, feel free to comment below to help us all avoid them. Because it's an author community, we have to help each other. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and just do your research and watch out for those scammers. All right, best of luck. Have an awesome day, everybody.